What's happening, y'all? As y'all can see, I did in fact cut the dreads. They gone. You know what I'm saying? The dreads, they was a fun little journey, but I had to get off. Y'all notice that in the common state of the world, we have a lot of lustful things to look towards and a lot of easy accessible content. It's like everywhere you go, whether that be Twitter, Instagram, how I said Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? TikTok, any media. There's always somebody doing something, or always somebody shaking their ass, somebody popping it. You know what I'm saying? Just a whole bunch of sexualized stuff, right? And the same goes for men too. Men just be posting thirst traps. Well, some dudes they be posting thirst traps, acting crazy, and doing anything for that little click, that little verification, plugging in the OnlyFans, all that. And so, a lot of the times, it's so easy to fall into temptation. If you feel to overconsumption of sexualized topics from a young age, which a lot of people this generation have, my generation, Generation Z, we get a lot of backlash for falling into temptation at such a young age without any other or without any prior education. It's easy to get caught up in the alluring aspects of the media, but you don't want to get caught up in that. You don't. Because there are many men I see on social media who are popularizing, gooning, wasting their lives away, forgetting about their goals, passions, aspirations, for that little, you feel me? Like, what does that shit mean to you? More than your family, more than your friends, more than everybody around you. You gonna choose that. You gotta step it up. Everybody who lives that lifestyle has to step it up. But I understand that it's not as easy as that. I had a similar instance I went through. Not as bad as a period as what's going on today, thankfully. But I did have a problem with that for a little time period, like a month or two. And so I understand how that works. You know what I'm saying? You want to stop, but then it keeps calling you back just like any other addiction. This goes for anything. You gotta stay away from new addictions. And by doing that, you gain discipline and the mental clarity that you can run away. That you know that you have the ability and control over your body to do whatever you want to do without being a slave to the things of this world. And I want y'all to keep that mindset in every aspect of your life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, I see a lot that when people get money, or when people get outside things like status, cars, and again, money, people tend to change. And most of the time in negative ways. People tend to get caught up so much in that external shit that they forget about values and fundamental things that were ingrained in us as children. Well, for most of us, I don't know about everybody, but for me, certain values that I grew up with was you have to protect you, yourself, and the people around you, no matter what the consequences of that may be. In my last video, I was referencing, or I had said, you gotta take the consequences of your actions, no matter what they may be. And that was in the context if you want to change your life. But even when you're trying to protect somebody, or even when you're trying to do anything in life, you gotta take the consequences of that. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of them. You have to take the consequences of being yourself, especially in a generation like this. because it's not easy. It's so easy to just try to be accepted by being somebody that you're not. But that's not the type of life you want to live at all. Because when you stay true to yourself, people are naturally going to gravitate towards you. I've experienced that so much. There are so many times I've gotten comments where it's like, how you could be yourself open without gatekeeping your true emotions. That may not sound like a lot to some people, but some people really struggle with that task. That may be simple to others. Again, it's really easy to just chalk up your true emotions and live in the rules and values of this world. But you don't want to do that. I'm a God-fearing man. And for me, that means I live by God's rules. I don't live by the rules of the world. I don't feel pressure when hit with new different concepts of the world. Because I like to keep that. I like to keep my actions in this world separate from the norms. You know what I mean? I like to go by God's rules. Because when there's structure, and especially when God is your foundation, you can't be broken. You know, a lot of times people try to fight their addictions, like I mentioned earlier, with stuff like motivation, a feeling, like feeling like you want to do it. And not all the times is that going to be viable. Because not every time you're going to want to fight your addiction. A lot of the times it could be easier to just want to give in and not continue with what you're doing. But when you're held up on principles of foundation, and especially a strong foundation like God, you can't be broken down. Come on, man. Even if you're not a person who's too religious, you still have to have a foundation that's bigger than you. You alone, you're not going to be able to fight against your addictions, things that you can't stay away from, or bad habits. You got to have a reason. You can't depend on motivation, your feelings, or what somebody else wants you to do. You got to have something bigger for doing what you want to do. Whether that be doing something for your mom, doing something for your grandma, auntie, dad, sister, brother. You got to see something outside yourself and work towards that. And for me, that worked out a lot. You know what I'm saying? I play the guitar, dog. I've been playing, getting my skills up. I used to play soccer. I was even grounded at that. And that helped me step away from other things that I was struggling with. So just like how I did that, it's going to be easy for y'all to do that and emerge as the best possible versions of yourself. All we're going to do is level up, evolve, and change. We're going to evolve our minds, bodies. No Diddy. That's the last one. That's 2 videos in a row now. I gotta stop it. But we're gonna evolve our minds, bodies, and our views on life. That's what we're gonna do, yeah. I don't have a name for this community yet. But we already knew for sure. Finna see all the next video.